my Instagram page, which I think we had 1.5 million, and I still have my Facebook page. And my Facebook page, we finna be at 1 million on my Dr. Yahki clinic side, and then I'm at like 450,000 on my personal Yahki Rafa Elohim. But mentally, man, I'm good. You know, this come with the territory. You
Yeah.
can't proclaim and profess to be a son of light, and you doing all of this light work, and then you don't expect darkness to come, because whenever you turn on a flashlight, you actually exposing the shadows that's in the dark. So this come with the job. I'll be a fool to sit up here and complain. So I'm good, and I know what come with the territory. I'm from the streets. Got gunshot wounds, stab wounds. I had to get surgery on my mouth. You see, I got these temps in. They had to remove metal from here to here because I had my jaw broke in a gang fight when I was 16. So I had to reconstruct my jaw, and they put titanium and 5% nickel inside of my jawbone. I had to get all of that removed because it started literally tainting and poisoning my blood. You see what I'm saying? So that came with being in the streets. So of course, if you switch over and you still that same person, I'm still the same me. You know what I'm saying? I just switch my intentions and my energy. So now, since I'm on the positive side, then it's a new level, new devil, brother. So I'm good, man.
Yo, family, make sure y'all follow Yahki on his platforms. And before we continue this, people feeling we had over 1,000 now. Make sure y'all text your family and friends that Yahki Awaken is live on YouTube on Black Magic 363. Let's get this thing really popping tonight. We're gonna have a great time. If y'all see the different background, I'm actually at an Airbnb. I'm in New York City. So things is a little different. I hope y'all can hear me great with the mic and everything, but I'm actually away in New York City at an Airbnb. So it's good to be away and actually, be talking to my brother right now. Yahki, and then let me say this real quick, Yahki. I like your family. So I had a talk with Yahki before the show began. Part of it was about him being banned from YouTube, right? One thing I forgot to mention, Yahki, and I don't even want a response from you, brother. But you know what? Remember what we were just talking about? Remember what another big, a huge reason why you're being banned outside of everything I just said? You know what Yahki, I'm glad it's coming to me. You know what a huge reason is? On top of all that? You're Hebrew. Oh, shit. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? You heard me, right? On top of everything I just said and everything you're doing, you talking about the streets, brother, you represent your Hebrew. And we're not going to get in that because we know what that leads to and, whatever. But I just want to say that, brother. They're like, wait, hold up. So I just want to say that. Yahki, so we just talked about copper. We know a lot of people in the spiritual community wear copper on their bodies. And copper bracelets and rings, and we seen the crowns. When we see them using copper in the plants. One thing we also see, Yahki, black people, we love wearing gold. I got some on. I think you got on the gold watch. We wear gold teeth, my nigga. Gold braid. We got gold everywhere. So let me ask you this, Yahki. The same way we wear copper and plant copper, should we wear gold and also plant gold? Should I get a 24 karat gold bar and plant that mother effer in my garden? And I'm going to bring the most beautiful fruit and vegetables in the world, my brother.
Well, as far as gold is a very, very, very rich mineral, and it is used in 100% of all technologies that's here in the world that we're using right now. That's in your computers, it's in your phone, but it's the same as copper too. So these are what you will call precious minerals or precious metals. Gold look good on melanin. It looks good on us. Gold look good in our mouth, and it is very, very essential for our body. That's why you have things called atomic gold. You got people with gold serums, and you can take them in tincture form. But I will sit here and say, scientifically, and just through my studies and through my experience, copper is way more essential and much more of a necessity to human biology than gold. But we do need gold. So gold look good on us. Gold is a conductor of electricity, but copper is more vital and more important than gold. So, but you can see as far as fashion wise, putting it on your skin, I think both of them look good. I'm gonna wear the gold before I wear the copper on my skin, but I'm gonna put the copper in my body before I put the gold in my body.
Indeed. Well said, my brother. Well said. Let me ask you this, and I might ask, some unorthodox questions, but everybody has a unique experience in this lifetime. One thing I've experienced, and I want to ask you about that may be a little weird. It's a little kind of a weird question, but I know I'm from the con. Like I said, I'm on vacation. I'm in New York, and how we usually do in New York, your whole life, you hear people like if a person doesn't have access to the bathroom, Yaki, they'll say, "Oh man, let me brothers, like let's say brothers, and they're outside. They're like, oh man, let me use the bathroom real quick." So when they say let me use the bathroom quick, the first thing they look for is a tree. That's the first thing they look for. So they go to a tree and they urinate by the tree. Now I've heard of urine therapy with Dr. Sabi. That's the first time I heard of urine therapy. But what is actually if we urinate and there's so many people in the cities that when they urinate, it's like you know how a person will look for a stall or a restroom in the hood, you look for a tree. That's where you're urinating at. So what is that doing to the tree having so many people go and urinate by it?
Well, we know that urine therapy is, in fact, I spoke against it earlier in my career, but as I kept studying, and as I experienced my own experience by getting stung by jellyfish in the ocean in Miami, and I
Whoa.
literally used my own urine. Yeah, I got stung, man. I got attacked by some
Oh
poisonous
man.
jellyfish, and when I got to shore, everybody was on the beach like pee on
Mhm.
yourself, pee on yourself. Hey, look, mind you, the day before I was on live talking about how I would never, use my own urine, drink my own urine. It's a bunch of metabolites inside of urine, metabolic waste, urea. I mean, I'm talking nitrogen buildup. I'm talking all of this stuff, but God got a way. The creator got a way of making you shut up. So I went in the ocean swimming, ended up getting attacked by some jellyfish, which is weird. They say it only happened to 1% of African Americans in the world. So it happened to me. I was chosen to just get stung by jellyfish, end up swimming to the shore. And when I got out, everybody was saying you need vinegar, but wasn't no place around to get the vinegar. So all of the Caucasians was on it. That was like, pee on yourself, pee on yourself. So one of them ran up to me that like, I'm telling you, urinate on yourself, put it in that area. It's gonna stop the burning. Because I started getting bumps everywhere. They're like, it's gonna stop the spread and everything. So I'm thinking in my head, how ironic. I just talked down on urine therapy, but I'm literally about to use urine for therapy right now. So I ran up to the little bathroom and literally I got my urine, I peed in my hands, I rubbed it all over my body. And
Mm.
it took away the burn. It made me feel better. I mean, on the whole way home, because I was staying in Brickell, which is East Miami, which is about a 45-minute drive. I'm smelling like piss the whole way home.
Oh
Everybody in the car looking at me crazy. But I just used the urine after the day before. I just did a whole lot, and I would never do it. And how bad it was. Urine do have a bunch of medicinal properties to it. I mean, think about it. Urine is actually in your body. Your fluids actually create this urine. So anytime your body is getting rid of something, it's going to need a transport and a detoxification pathway to get it out of the body. In order for that to happen, the so-called immune system is going to have to come in play. Neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, these things will have to be in that area. Plus, all the things that chelate the cells and move them out of the body will have to be positioned in that area as well. All of these things are actually inside your urine. So, me personally, I will never drink my urine, but I'm not talking down or judging anybody that do it. But I
yeah.
can see the benefits and the actual medicinal purposes if someone choose to do so. Me, I'm going to lean more on herbs, vegetables, fruit fasting, intermittent fasting, and in my herbal therapies and things like that. But
Mm.
urine does have medicinal properties to them, and it's your own fluid that's in your own body. It's like drinking from your own well if you look it up in ancient times. So, and then you got to talk about transgenerational epigenetic inheritance and things that's been passed down to us by our ancestors. Back then, they really didn't have toilets and commodes per se, especially not the less fortunate. So the thing that they did was they went by a tree and they wiped their behinds with leaves, and they went by a tree and they urinated. So from a metaphysical aspect, that is given back to mother who birthed you, which is earth. And what is the best thing to give back other than your own bodily fluids if they're a non-harmful? Now, when we're talking about people that drink soda pop, and we talking about people that drink liquor, and they drinking all of these toxins and poisons, and then they giving this urine back to earth. That, to me, that's disrespectful, but that's my perspective. But a person that's healthy, a person that's in tune with nature, and a person that's in a balance of homeostasis, and that's in alignment, them urinating on a tree and them giving back or pooping in a yard somewhere and wiping their butt on a leaf, that's the way you give back. And then, think about when you growing. I'm a farmer. We are literally using cow, we using chicken dung, we using all of the different, byproducts of these different animals, and we making compost with it, and we're using that to help grow our food. So it's kind of the same analogy. You give back to the earth, and the earth give back to you.
Well, let me ask you this, Yahki. This may be a little uncomfortable for you to answer, but you talked about the cow dung, and I forgot who I talked to about this. I think maybe Dr. Valentine mentioned this before. Would you ever use human dung in your farm? Your dung, if you so motherfucking healthy, would you ever use your own dung to grow your food, since you're using dung from a cow and all that other stuff, my brother?
That's a good question. If it came down to it and it was a necessity and I had to, I would. But since we do got cattle, since I do have access to making my own compost, and we have chickens and things like that, I would continue to use that. But I mean, if it came down to it, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But I'm not in that position where I have to use my own defecation to grow my own food. But I do see that idealism, though, and I'm not opposed to it if I had to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Indeed. A little earlier you talked about street culture you grew up in, and things you've been through, and you're like the top dog in this health community, like you him in the health community, right? And I wonder, and I'm like, this is more of a spiritual question, Yahki. You ready? You want a spiritual question, my brother?
No, give me one.
All right, so a person like you, a person that's following their purpose, they will get signs. It could be the most insignificant signs that nobody else will understand, but it's a plethora of signs when you're young telling you you're going to be where you're going to be. Let me give you an example. Just something that might be totally non-significant to somebody, me explaining to somebody, but when I got older and I do what I do, I see why I thought the way I thought when I was young, and I'm trying to figure out what signs that Yahki get, because I want people to know when they're getting signs. One of the things that, now you see, I'm an interviewer. I ask questions. I gotta stimulate the conversation. I gotta keep this thing electrifying. We gotta have a good time while we're talking on this podcast. One of the things when I look back at Yahki when I was young, I always remember something that was very important to me. Very important. When you we come from a different era, and when we talked on the phone to girls when we was young. One of the things that was very important to me, Yahki, is in my mind I was like, damn, I gotta have a stimulating conversation. I gotta make sure that it was real important to me to not just call her, because you get the number, right? A nigga, a bag of chick, get the number. But what do you have to say once you get the number?
You gotta have something to talk about.
You gotta have something to talk about. That was so important to me. Yeah. Like it was a success to me if I got the girl's number and we had a conversation for an hour. Like that shit to me, that was a victory. That was a victory.
Rich used to be caking, boy. You one of them brothers sitting on the cabinet with the microwave, talking on the phone, on top of the table.
Listen. But I love being able to maintain a conversation with a woman. For a long period of time, because I know that was something that a lot of dudes couldn't maintain or offer. And it was just dope to me. I was like, I got in the bag then. That was just, so I look back at it now and I see how I'm able to have a conversation on a podcast or ask certain questions, because I used to be interested in questions back then. Well, what I'm gonna ask? I need to ask something, so I can see, like, damn, I've been getting breadcrumbs all along to tell me who I was gonna be later on in life. I want to know what messages did Yahki, like I said, you the top dog. What messages did you get along? I knew you was in the street, but I know you was getting messages along the way. What can you talk to us about? How was God communicating with you throughout your early life, Yahki?
Well, just being a part of, the culture, flicks, gangs and just growing up. For one, I always been a leader. I always had a bunch of brothers running behind me asking, hey, what's the next move, Yahki? What we doing next? I'm doing what you doing. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So always had that leadership role and mentality throughout my whole entire life. So I knew I was going to be at the front end of something. And then another thing, my grandma, may the Most High rest her soul. She had me, growing strawberries when I was 7. I'm growing strawberries. She used to make me plant them. I used to have to go out, water them, make sure that the sun was hitting them right, and I had to pull them. So I was growing food when I was younger. Didn't know I was going to be doing the same thing today. But, and then while we was forming together, she used to always apply form to life. You know what I'm saying? Patience. You got to be patient. You got to wait on the harvest. You got to make sure that you plant your seed in solid ground. You don't want to be a seed that fall by the wayside, because she was very deep into church. Just a whole lot of things. But man, just how I ended up here, like I said, only thing changed was my energy and my intentions, but I've been the same person. I'm a warrior, and I'm a servant. I always been that type of person for my clique, for my brothers, for the woman I was with. I was always the provider. I was always the protector, always the one trying to figure out a way out. It's just now, since I'm in the health space, I'm trying to figure out a way out of this